They thought it was over. They thought the storm had passed. But then, the audio leaked, and everything exploded. In the quiet corners of the NASCAR garage, people whisper, not about the next race, not about tires or setups or even the playoff grid. No, this time, it's about power, about trust, about a conversation that was never supposed to reach public ears. A conversation that might change everything. Let me explain. Just days after Bubba Wallace pulled off the biggest win of his career at Indianapolis, locking himself into the playoffs with a regular season victory for the first time ever, the celebration was short-lived. While Wallace and his crew bathed in champagne and glory, behind the scenes, team owners were boiling with rage. Because someone, nobody knows who, leaked a private conversation between NASCAR executives and team representatives. A closed-door meeting meant to stay in the shadows. But now, it's out. And what was said in that room wasn't just business. It was a warning, a threat, and maybe something worse. Sources close to the team say the leaked recording includes lines like, "They'll follow the plan, or they'll lose the charter." It's that simple. Simple? Maybe? Legal? That's the problem. One owner reportedly slammed his fist on the table after hearing it. So this is what they think of us, just pieces on a board. Another source says the room fell silent when a NASCAR rep said the word control in reference to how they'd manage team messaging. The phrase, "we'll just control the process," was repeated 3 times. Now read that again. Control the process. That phrase, more than anything, is what lit the fire. Because this isn't just about Bubba Wallace's feel-good win, or Kyle Larson's near miss, or the heartbreak of Joey Logano blowing a tire while leading. This is about the foundation of the sport. It's about whether teams actually have a voice, or whether they're just pretending. See, teams have been at odds with NASCAR leadership for months now. From the battle over charter agreements to the lawsuit over financial records, it's been a slow, simmering feud. But this leak? This just turned it into a full-blown war. 2311. Racing, the team owned by Michael Jordan and Denny Hamlin, is right in the middle of it. On one side, they just claimed victory. Bubba Wallace proved he could win when it mattered most, staying calm in double overtime, holding off Kyle Larson, and bringing home a career-defining trophy. But on the other side, their charter status is under fire. Their legal team is knee-deep in court filings. Their financials are being demanded by NASCAR attorneys, going back over a decade. It's not just stressful, it's personal. And now, with this leak, it feels like a betrayal. Denny Hamlin himself hinted at the growing tension just weeks ago. In an interview, he said, "There was talk of a new clause. They do not want you speaking negatively." He didn't name names. He didn't have to. Everyone knew who he was talking about. The message was clear. Speak up and pay the price. And fans? They've noticed. Social media exploded after the leak. Some defending NASCAR, saying it's just business. But others? Outraged. One user wrote, "So they're threatening teams behind the scenes? That's not racing. That's a dictatorship." Another posted, "No wonder the drivers look nervous during interviews now." And just when you think it can't get messier, remember this. The playoffs are just around the corner. Every point, every finish, every decision matters. And yet, instead of focusing on the track, the teams are being pulled into boardrooms and courtrooms. It's chaos. But it's not random. It's organized chaos. Because if you listen closely, if you read between the lines, you'll realize something. This wasn't an accident. This wasn't some slip of the tongue. This leak, this moment, it's part of a bigger play. A fight for control over the future of NASCAR. And the battle has only just begun. The battle lines are drawn, and now, no one's backing down. After the leaked conversation dropped like a bomb, the response from teams wasn't just anger. It was strategy. Meetings were called, lawyers were activated, statements were quietly drafted but never released. Because in a war like this, silence is its own kind of weapon. What made it worse? NASCAR never apologized. They never explained. And they certainly didn't deny. Instead, they brushed it off, called it a misunderstanding. One high-ranking official was overheard saying, "People hear what they want to hear." That only made things worse, because the teams did hear what was said, and now they can't unhear it. Behind the scenes, several team owners are reportedly exploring whether the leaked comments violated antitrust laws, especially if those threats to pull charters are seen as coercion. A source close to the situation said, "If they push us out, they better be ready for what comes next." Let that sink in. The very people who are the sport, those who build the cars, pay the drivers, and show up to race every weekend, are saying they're ready to burn it down if it means getting fair treatment. And while all this tension simmers, guess who's left standing in the middle of it all? Bubba Wallace. The man who, just days ago, was celebrating the biggest win of his life, is now being used as a political chess piece. His victory at Indianapolis was more than just a win. It was a moment of hope for his team, 23-11, and for the sport itself. A driver once doubted, criticized, and told he wasn't good enough finally shut the critics up. But the headlines moved on too fast. Now, instead of seeing replays of Bubba holding off Kyle Larson in a thrilling overtime finish, fans are seeing court documents and leaked transcripts. The story isn't about racing anymore. It's about power. Even Tyler Reddick, Bubba's teammate, who's been consistently fast all season but hasn't gotten a win yet, finds himself caught in the mess. His team, 23-11, should be laser-focused on playoff preparation, but instead, they're navigating legal landmines. And while all that unfolds, NASCAR's leadership keeps moving forward, almost pretending nothing's wrong. But it is, because fans are waking up. They see the cracks. They're asking why William Byron ran out of fuel from second place while trying to take the points lead. They're wondering how both Penske cars blew tires while leading, on a track Roger Penske owns. They're questioning why the best teams in the garage look like they're stumbling while NASCAR's rulebook stays as confusing as ever. The sport is changing. Fast. Veterans like Denny Hamlin are openly calling out the system. Mid-pack teams are finding new strength. Ryan Preece and Brad Keselowski both finishing in the top 5 at Indy shocked everyone. And even underdogs like Todd Gilliland are punching above their weight. It's as if the racing gods are flipping the script. The underdogs are rising. The giants are tripping. And the officials are hiding. But here's the part no one wants to admit. This might be exactly what NASCAR needed. Real drama, real stakes, not just on the track, but in the boardroom. Because at the heart of it, this isn't just about who wins races. It's about who runs the show. For years, teams followed the rules, signed the charters, showed up every week. But now, they're demanding something back. Fairness, clarity, and a seat at the table. And if NASCAR won't give it to them, they might just take it by force. So here we are, a leaked conversation, a championship battle, and a sport standing on the edge of something big. Will NASCAR listen? Will the teams fight back harder? Or will this all end in a courtroom where racing takes a backseat to lawyers and loopholes? We don't know yet, but one thing's clear. The silence from NASCAR speaks louder than anything on that tape. Now it's your turn. Do you think NASCAR crossed the line? Should teams take back control of the sport? Or is this all just part of the game? Let us know in the comments. Because this story, it's far from over.